So last year, the Neo Vista from Mizuno really excited me. It was something new and crazy from Mizuno that we hadn't seen from them, and I really enjoyed the shoe. Luckily, now we have V2 of the Neo Vista, and it keeps a lot of those same core ideas from V1, but with some tweaks top to bottom. After a few runs in it, I'm ready to give you my first impressions, a few comparisons, but just a quick disclaimer that Mizuno did send me these shoes for review, but all my thoughts and opinions are my own. Anyways, let's go ahead and dive into the specs. According to Running Warehouse, the stack height is 51 millimeters in the heel and 43 in the forefoot with an 8 millimeter heel to toe drop. The weight comes in at 9.3 ounces in a men's size 9. The price is $200, and I put this in the super trainer category. Alright, now let's talk about what's new in the shoe overview. Starting with the upper, it has a sock-like engineered knit that reminds me a lot of the one found on the Neo Zen. The midsole still has a fiberglass infused nylon plate in the middle, but the foam formula has changed. The top layer is now supercritical TPU, while the bottom layer is the same EVA formula from V1. The outsole uses a different rubber compound. It's now X10, which is more durable compound that was found on the Neo Zen. All right, now let's talk about the fit of the shoe. I went with my regular size 12. I thought that the length fit well. I had a thumbs width at the end. However, I found that the volume of the upper was kind of roomy overall, a little baggy. You can kind of see I had to bunch down the laces a little bit and it kind of wrinkled it right there. It's not the same fit as V1. I really liked how kind of snug V1's upper was. This one's leans more towards like the Neo Zen's fit, and so I think people, if you had issues with the tightness of V1, you'll like this, but others like me might have to play around with the laces a little bit. So now let's talk about the ride and my first impressions. This shoe is super smooth thanks to that smooth speed assist rocker from heel to toe. It really rolls you through your stride. It's got a little extra bevel in the heel and in the forefoot so that it doesn't feel clunky at all. So the combo of this high stack height and the plate in there makes it great for long runs. You can just pile on the miles in the shoe. It's also great for recovery day when you want to take it easy and have something plush and kind of roll you through your stride. However, I did find that you can also kind of pick up the pace in the shoe too. Nothing crazy, but kind of more moderate runs. It did feel nice and energetic through the stride and the toe off. It's not a pure speed shoe in my opinion, but it can definitely handle moderate paces. So I think that this technically has a slightly lower stack height than the previous version, or at least on paper, but it doesn't feel like it. It feels like there's more foam and cushion underfoot, especially in the forefoot. I think that this has to do with that new top layer of foam being supercritical TPU. It feels more bouncy and energetic. And I also found it to feel more stable too. I think they have this new kind of configuration here in the midfoot that helps make it a little more stable. But I think overall, if you liked V1, but wish that the ride was a little less squirrely, a little more stable, a little more energetic, then I think you'll really like V2. All right, now I'm going to do a few quick comparisons to the Neo Vista 2. The first shoe I'm going to compare it to is the first Neo Vista. So they both look pretty similar. However, there are those minor changes that do make a big difference. Again, starting with the upper, I found that the knit upper on V1 was a little more snug fitting, which I liked better than the more loose upper on V2. Either way, they're both pretty similar, the knit style uppers. The midsoles, this one's the 100% EVA blend with the fiberglass infused nylon plate in the middle. This one has that same nylon infused plate, and it uses the EVA foam on the bottom, but on the top layer you get that new supercritical TPU foam, and I think that makes a big difference in the ride of these two shoes. This one I thought felt a little too squishy sometimes, especially in the forefoot on longer runs. I want it to feel a little more protective under there and a little more energetic, a little more stable, and this shoe fixed all of that for me. More fun, honestly, on long runs and recovery days, but also still felt responsive enough to pick up the pace. I really like this shoe, but it was almost there for being fantastic. And this one just takes it up to the next level in my opinion. Next up is the Neo Zen. So this shoe came out earlier this year and I really liked this shoe as well. So they look pretty similar, can be kind of confusing, but essentially in the Neo lineup, we have the Neo Zen here is kind of like their versatile daily trainer. Think of it kind of like a Nova Blast. And then we have the Neo Vista 2 here, which is more like a super trainer, kind of like the Super Blast. So again, their uppers are pretty similar fitting. They're both a little bit on the loose side for my more narrow foot, but the Neo Vista is a little more premium feeling. The midsole on the Neo Zen does not have a plate at all. It's just 100% of the supercritical TPU foam, and I didn't feel like it needed a plate. It was still nice and bouncy and energetic, but also felt stable as well, where you didn't need that plate thanks to that kind of lower stack height. The geometry is also less aggressive on here. You don't have as much of that heel and forefoot rocker. This one is going to be a little more aggressive than the rocker. It's going to have that plate in there. Only the top layer of TPU. And again, I think different use cases. I like this one more for daily training. It feels more durable. It's a little bit lighter. And then I really like this one for those long runs and recovery days. So I thought that V1 felt a lot like the original SC Trainer, but now I think that V2 feels even closer. These two feel very, very similar, which I'm happy about. I think the forefoot rocker on the SC Trainer is a little more aggressive, and it's maybe a little bit less stable overall, but it does have a similar kind of that 50mm stack height with a nice rocker and a plate in there. And if you are looking for a replacement for the SC Trainer V1, I think you're gonna like the Neo Vista too. So Mizuno definitely dialed up the Neo Vista and made it even better with V2. I like how it's more stable and more energetic and more cushioned feeling. The upper wasn't necessarily a big upgrade in my opinion, but I think there are a lot of people out there that will like these changes. I think if you're looking for a super high stack shoe that's great for long runs and recovery days, but can also pick up the pace a bit, then you should definitely check out the Neo Vista 2. These are just my first impressions. I have some more miles to put on them, and then I'll come back and give you my full review. Stay tuned for that. Thanks for watching, and as always, keep on running.